This has been one crappy week. We are now 4 to 5 weeks away from listing our home in Atascadero. We've gone through lots of different home improvements, lots of DIY projects. We hired a couple professionals to fix up some items in our home. We've been packing every weekend like we said we would. And now comes the time for our septic inspection. We decided to do our septic inspection almost a month or so out, a little bit more than a month out, because our septic is actually in our front lawn, so we had to dig it up. We want to make sure the grass can grow back, put new sod down before we list the home. Now, the one thing about Atascadero is that a septic is not in every yard, and it's unpredictable where they're going to be. We're not far from the middle of town. We're on Dolores Avenue off of Traffic Way, and our neighbors right around the corner are on sewer. The sewer line goes up the street, and then it stops, and it doglegs down another street. So there's a lot of houses in Atascadero. There's no rhyme or reason on the map which is going to be septic and which is going to be sewer. It's just the way that they developed the town and when they put in certain streets and which developers had the right permissions and hookups from the city. So our house in particular has a septic. So it's important to do a septic inspection and to empty the septic tank before you sell a house because it's going to come up in the inspection either way. Now, upon digging up our past 5 years ago when we bought our house, the new septic inspector came up and that we didn't use last time, and he dug up the tank and he found out that one of the tank lids was cement and the other tank lids was still Redwood, which was a very old way of doing septic tank construction. Found out that a lot of septic companies won't pass any Redwood components of a septic tank. Even if it's just the lid and it's in perfect condition, the wood is in perfect condition, they won't pass it. So what we did have to do is we had to have the septic tank pumped out. They're already there. They already dug up the lawn, as you'll see here in these pictures and these videos. They already dug up our lawn. So they pumped out the septic, they pumped out the system, and then they installed the lids as is, and then buried it and put the dirt back, the grass back the way it was. And then they sent us a proposal to put a new concrete lid in it, which they'll now have to come back and re-dig it up to put the new lid in. So it's a bit of a headache, but at the same time, it has to get done before we sell the house because it will be an issue to a buyer if they know that the tank is not passing inspection. It's going to be a big headache to us, and they will definitely bring it up, and it will affect our offer price. So it's always important in Atascadero and any surrounding areas that have septic, anywhere in a rural area, is to have your septic inspection done within a month, so that way you can be well equipped to take care of any issues that may have arisen. So another thing that we have done this past week is we've gotten the exterior of our home painted. Now, last week, as you saw in episode 2 of the home selling series for selling our home in Atascadero, we had the interior painting done. We didn't do the whole interior. We just made some of the more bolder colors more neutral for a buyer to be easier on their eyes, basically easier to imagine themselves in the space. So this last week, we've done some exterior house painting. We power washed the outside of our house. We painted a fresh coat of paint on all the stucco. We had the stucco repaired a month ago or so on some areas, but we had the same colors, so we just wanted to get the house nice and fresh. So we did one coat of paint on the outside of the house, on the trim, the stucco, the porch, the front door, just to make everything sparkle. It's just a couple days of labor for a small paint crew to get it done. It's not a terribly large house, but it's going to really maximize that curb appeal. When people walk up to view the house, they come in, everything's going to look spick and span, brand new. We spent 2 weeks ago, we had the trim replaced on the windows, as you saw in the previous video. So this is just the icing on the cake. And also on the back patio, instead of keeping the weathered wood, we decided to do a solid stain, so a solid brown color on all the timbers of that patio cover. So all in all, it's going to be a nice, presentable, really beautiful home when it's ready to sell. And next up will be our landscaping projects and a few odds and ends with fixing some sink components and things like that. But to recap, this week was all about septic and finding out a septic issue that we had to take care of. But the one major takeaway is that if we had done this a week or two prior to listing the home, it would have delayed us 2 weeks because we will have to have the septic company come back out, dig it up again, put a new concrete lid in it, make sure it's nice for the new buyers. It's all going to be up to code. All the lids are going to be new, and it'll be ready to go for another few decades. But that said, I'm happy it happened. It's not going to be an expense that we were looking forward to spending, but in the end, having that proof that we fixed the septic issue to the new buyers really will save us and them headaches. So just a few tips if you're looking to buy or sell in Atascadero or surrounding areas, is that if there's a septic, make sure you read the report. If you're selling, make sure you get your inspection at least a month ahead of time, so if there's any issue, you have time to take care of it. Oh, and don't forget to do a little painting. A little painting goes a long way. Anyway, thanks for watching. I look forward to updating you on next week's projects for selling our home in Atascadero. I'll talk to you soon.